Yeah, it's just gotten bigger and bigger. I mean, at the outset, it seemed like a small story, but all of the newspapers had rainbow flags or various forms of rainbow messaging on their front pages. If you go to the web pages of the public broadcasters, rainbow, signs there. Everything seems to be full of rainbows. And I think what we're really going to be watching, but just down here on the square behind me, will be full of football fans watching on giant screen TVs because there's no more social distancing. People are out enjoying the hot weather and a cold beer and watching Germany play Hungary. And it will be really interesting to see how many people dress up in rainbow-colored regalia, and particularly in the stadium. I think that's what people are looking at. I mean, you know that, of course, even though the Munich stadium isn't going to be lit up in the colors of the rainbow flag, there are 7 other stadia in Germany that are being lit up tonight and in the coming days in the rainbow colors just to send another message. So it's not a decision that has gone unnoticed in Germany. I think it has really mobilized public opinion. I was out in the streets today asking people in this neighborhood, which is actually the historic gay neighborhood since the 19th century. People had to wear the pink triangles during the Nazi era. And there was considerable anger that this was not allowed to go forward. I mean, tempered, but there was disappointment, really, fundamentally. I think people would have liked to see this lighting up of the stadium take place without any comment and without any sort of furor as there is now.
UEFA's digging in, Nick. You've had the president of Europe's football organizing body who's blasted as populist these requests from politicians to have rainbow colors on the Allianz Arena. And I'll just read you what they said in a statement on their website earlier. They deny their decisions political. They say, on the contrary, the request itself was political, linked to the Hungarian football team's presence in the stadium for the match with Germany. In other words, don't target a member nation. They say that's their policy.
Yeah, and I mean, it also said that the request specifically referred to the law passed by the parliament in Hungary, which of course was democratically elected. And to a certain extent, they've come under fire. And I think they're really feeling the pressure. If you look at their Twitter account now, the UEFA little circle sign is now rainbow colored as well, definitely feeling the heat. But what the UEFA president now, I think the point is moot, really. The debate is taking place. The spotlights, maybe rainbow colored, are all now on what's going on in Hungary. That law that could have gone by pretty much unnoticed has now become something that foreign ministers are condemning, that people are talking about, that is becoming sort of weaving itself into the fabric of this football championship. For every game that Hungary plays, if they continue forward, there'll be more talk about this, and it's certainly something that the Germans are talking about. So, I mean, I take note of his comments, but I think that this whole thing has become much, much bigger than him or any particular individual. It's a matter of people talking about something that they wouldn't have talked about, and perhaps bringing more attention to the situation of LGBTQ people in Hungary than would have been the case had this, stadium lighting situation never come to the fore.
And just let me ask you, Nick, where you are you getting a sense of, is the anger against Hungary or is the anger against UEFA? It's the second time inside of 24 hours where the Germans have criticized UEFA. Angela Merkel on Tuesday questioning the idea of whether or not they should have the final at Wembley, what with the Delta variant rampant.
Yeah, I think people, I mean, the political leaders can separate the institutions from one another. Merkel wouldn't comment, for instance, today on the UEFA decision, but she would comment on the Hungarian law, saying it went completely against her notions of politics, the idea that some information should be withheld from young people. The people that I talked to, I think definitely understood that Viktor Orban, the Prime Minister of Hungary, has these laws, but he doesn't represent all of Hungary. And the fact is, if you look closely at Hungarian politics, he's going down in popularity, this populist illiberal leader, to use the word he uses to describe himself. And many analysts see him finding this wedge issue of LGBTQ rights as something that he is trying to use to sort of claw back some power. But the normal people here in the street don't have, I think, a deep understanding of Hungarian politics, nor do I. But they just think it's a bit of a shame that they couldn't light up a stadium with the colors of the rainbow flag. And they feel that as Germans, these are values that represent them. That's certainly the people that I talk to, that there's nothing to be ashamed of. And that's what we're seeing in the front pages of the newspapers. And I think if you watch closely the match tonight, I'm just going to go out on a limb here. You'll see a lot of rainbow-colored jerseys and rainbow-colored what have you in the stands of that Allianz Arena in Munich.